Hello everyone. Thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those that are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. This is another shocking story that has just happened. The IGP has ordered an investigation after a pastor accused Apostle Suleman of sleeping with his own wife. And this is a well-known pastor, a popular pastor that everybody, just mentioning his name, everybody knows who he is. And the husband has gone viral with his video, which he came out to speak about Apostle Suleman's affairs with his own wife. And the Inspector General of Police, who is the person of Mohammed Adamu, has ordered a probe of General Overseer of Omega Fire Ministries International, Apostle Johnson Suleman. He has been accused by a former pastor of his own church who goes by the name Mike Davis of sleeping with his own wife, Faith Edeko, who heads the Abuja branch of the church. For the IGP to get involved, you know that it's a very serious matter. It was not just the police, but the Inspector General of Police. And also, this sex scandal comes 4 years after the clergyman was involved in allegations with him and Stephanie Otobo, which had another sex scandal with her. And in a petition that was written by his own council vice chairperson, that's the Ezenagu and Associates, the aggrieved pastor, who is Pastor Mike Davis, accused Pastor Suleman that he's been sleeping with his wife, and that wasn't all, that Pastor Suleman is even threatening his life and preventing him from seeing his 3 children. However, he also said that in the petition, Davis said another thing again, that he met Apostle Suleman. He's now explaining how him and Apostle Suleman got to work together in their own church, that he met him since 2003 while he was in school, and that the clergyman Apostle Suleman eventually ordained him as a pastor in his church, that's Omega Fire Ministries, on June 9th, 2006. And then after that, they became very close since he knew him as a young man. He also said that he served the church for over 15 years before he left in 2019. He attached his pastoral certificates with license number, which he also had mentioned. And in 3 of the videos which he posted that went online yesterday, being January 24th, Pastor Davis said that his wife Faith began dating. Both of them were dating while they were in secondary school, and that they courted for about 11 years before they finally got married, which is a very long time to say. That means they spent a lot of time together and they know each other. And that in 2008, he introduced his wife Faith, who was still his fiancée then at that time. He told Apostle Suleman that this is the person he wants to get married to, whom he regarded as his spiritual father as of that time. And David also alleged that Faith, his own fiancée then, which is his wife now, told him while they were still dating that Apostle Suleman was making advances at her. And he once invited her to Reliance Hotel in Benin. He said that at that time, he never regarded it as anything and dismissed Faith's claim, that he dismissed his wife's claim, owing to the fact that he had so much trust and hope in Apostle Suleman, and also being his spiritual father, he didn't think or feel that whatever Faith was telling him as of that time was even true. And the clergyman said that he was now posted to Osun State in 2010 to pastor a branch of the church, that's the Omega Fire Ministries church. And that shortly after then, the birth of his daughter Michelle came in. That's in November 2009. Also, Davis claimed that Pastor Apostle Suleman was at that time setting up a gospel television station and asked him to release his wife to him as he will be needing her experience as an employee of NTA, saying she had all those requirements that would enable her stand out for the church in their television channel. He had to request that he should please release his own wife, Faith, so that she can work in that particular department. And so David claimed that it was during that particular time that his wife's visit to Auchi to help in setting up the TV station that Apostle Suleman had carnal knowledge of his wife in the presence of their daughter. This is what Pastor Davis is actually saying right now about his wife. So for now, let me say exactly what Pastor Davis himself had to say. So we'll be hearing from the horse's mouth. He said, "My wife was a staffer with NTA, Irupeng. So Apostle Suleman reached out to her that they will need her to build Celebration TV and Rema for living. She would have to shuttle between Osun State and Auchi. She came back from Auchi to Osun State and said she wanted to talk to me, that her conscience was pricking her. I asked what was it, and she said that while in Auchi, Apostle Suleman lodged her at Uwi Grand Hotel, and he came there and slept with her. And the moment she said that, the first thing that came to my mind was, my daughter. I asked, where was Michelle when this happened? And she said Michelle was on the bed, pushed aside. And I asked, you mean you slept with a man with my daughter on the bed? I had to let it go because there was nobody I could tell, and I couldn't fight with Apostle Suleman. I forgave her, but the erroneous relationship continued. One thing I know is that my wife was hypnotized. This is not the woman I got married to when I knew and whom I knew for 11 years. This was his exact words coming directly from Davis's mouth. Also, David alleged that his relationship with Apostle Suleman soon turned sour and he was suspended. But after that suspension was lifted, that he refused to return and he started receiving threats from Apostle Suleman. He also alleged that when he left the church in July 2019, things turned a different dimension when his wife began to fight with him and moved out of their matrimonial home with their 3 children, and she now relocated to Abuja. And that Apostle Suleman has given her a branch of the church in Utako, that's Utako is in Abuja, to head without permission. He said, I am calling on Pastor David Oyedepo, Pastor Paul Eneche, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, Pastor Margaret Idahosa, CAN and PFN. These are his words. Apostle Suleman has damaged my life. I have not seen my wife and children for 2 years. And Apostle Suleman says, if I ever go near them, he will have me taken out. I have a video where he said he will make me disappear. I don't want to lose my life. These are the words coming from Davis's mouth, that these are the life threats that Apostle Suleman has threatened him directly. And he said that him and his wife Faith are still married, as their marriage is yet to dissolve by any competent court of jurisdiction. They are still legally married. And reacting to the petition, the IGP in a letter he also had to comment, addressed to the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Force Intelligence Bureau, Garki, and dated January 5th, 2021, ordered a full investigation into the allegation. And the police also letter, which was titled Criminal Petition Against Apostle Johnson Suleman for Enticement of a Married Woman, Adultery, Unlawful Criminal Restraints to Access Children, and Threat to Life. This is just the title alone that the police, that's the IGP, had written with regards to this report that was made. And they had ordered this investigation since 5th of January 2021. And this is another of the later part of it I'm going to read out right now. IGP, the letter that they actually wrote. This is what he said. I attach here with a copy of the letter dated December 30th, 2020, with its attachments received from VC Ezenagu and Associates on the above underlined subject. The Inspector General of Police directs that you treat, accept the assurances of my esteemed regards, please. This is what the IGP has penned down. So telling you that this is not a matter to just sleep over under the carpet. For IGP to get involved, it's a very serious matter. In all of this, Apostle Suleman is yet to make comment on these allegations. And you can see and hear from the video, which I'm going to leave behind for everybody to hear directly from Mike's mouth, so that we can understand exactly what is happening. This is a very serious issue, and for an issue like this that has even involved the IGP, it means that they are not taking it lightly at all. But guys, what do we all feel about this particular incident that is happening? Because as of some time ago, we recall that there was this allegation against Apostle Suleman with Stephanie Otobo. That was a sex scandal as well, and that went off. Right now is a pastor himself that is now laying these allegations against Pastor Apostle Suleman. If this is true, guys, what do you all feel should be done to stop this kind of acts? And for the pastor himself to come out in public to say these things about his wife and Apostle Suleman, would he come out in public to probably create a kind of scandal or to put a kind of shame on his wife and Apostle Suleman? Do you think this is another strategy to either retaliate to Apostle Suleman and his wife for the allegations he has said, or could this be a reality that Apostle Suleman is having an affair with another man's wife? And if this is really true, I don't think it should be right. Any man at all, no matter your status in the society, everybody, married or single, stay away from other people's property. I call them other people's property. One, if you're dating another girl, another guy should not get involved with that same girl because she is already dating somebody else. If a man is married to another woman should not get involved with that man because he is already clinged to somebody else. But I don't know why. If this is really true though, why do some people prefer to go and have an affair with other people's husbands or wife? Especially when you know fully well that this person is married. It goes both ways. Some women, even though they are married, they still prefer having an affair with another woman's husband. You leave your own husband at home and then you go meet another woman's husband. Why are you contributing to breaking a home? Let me start with women, some of the women that get involved with this. It is better you sit down at home, resolve your issues with your husband. Settle and iron things out. The worst thing is crossing out from your own house to get into another woman's home. That's wrecking another woman's home, destroying their own home. Why go to that extent? And again, some married men, they are married, they have their own wives at home. You still prefer to have an illicit relationship with another man's wife. Why don't you settle whatever you have amicably with your own wife in the house? And again, people or men of God or women of God should even know better. You talk about adultery, you preach about adultery to your fellow members. And then if this is a true story that really happened, now how would you talk to your members about the same adultery? Because it's wrong for any married man to go and have an affair with a married woman, or any married woman to have an affair with a married man. It's wrong. Even the Bible condemns it totally. Don't be a partaker of wrecking someone's home. Okay, look at this man now. Mike Davis is saying that he has not seen his kids for over 2 years, and then that Apostle Suleman is threatening his life. You can imagine that a man like you is depriving you of your own rights, your own property. You can imagine how you will feel if this is really a true thing that has actually happened. Imagine how Davis is going to feel. You are being deprived of what rightfully belongs to you. And again, some women, why would you allow yourself to be enticed by another man's wealth or by another man? Why do you fall for it? Okay, if this is really true, that she had confessed previously to her husband of sleeping with Apostle Suleman, then why did you do it in the first place? That's the question that will be asked. You would have bluntly told him no. You would have resisted. You would have screamed out if you didn't even want to partake in this kind of an act. That is another thing that will be questioned at her. And if it was true that she actually made this confession in the past, it obviously means that Mike's wife was probably enjoying whatever was going on between her and Apostle Suleman. Otherwise, this allegation now that is coming up wouldn't have even come up in the first place, because she had probably consented to whatever happened between her and Apostle Suleman in the hotel before what is happening right now. Well, no one knows the real truth or who is actually speaking out the truth with this whole thing. If there is some sorts of lies or someone is trying to tarnish another person's image, well, we'll get to know more about this. But we'll watch and see what happens, waiting to hear what Apostle Suleman would have to say about this whole allegations that have come up against him. But at the same time, I'll use this medium to say, please, everybody, keep to your partner. It doesn't make any sense if you are still married and then you are jumping from one person to the other, or you leave your husband or you leave your wife. It's heartbreaking when you cheat on your spouse. It's really heartbreaking. Figure out how to resolve your issues in the house. Definitely there is something that is taking a man or a woman out, because if you ask anybody, especially those married people that you see them going to have secret affairs outside their home, you may meet a man and he will tell you, my wife is nagging, or my wife doesn't cook well, or my wife does this or that. He will have something to tell you. Then when you know that that's what your wife does, why don't you sit her down, talk to her, and you can even help her change. There is no point in you going out there and then probably to your wife, she doesn't even know what's taking you out. Then why don't you sit down with your wife, talk to her, and see how you can even help her? That's why you're a helpmate. Both of you are there to help each other. In some cases, some men just do it, not that their wives are even bad. Some of them, you see that their wives are angels. Their wives are extremely nice, loving, caring women. They could go to any length to make their husbands happy. But some men are never satisfied. They still want to go out there and explore. then why are you hurting another woman in the house, destroying another woman's life? Because a woman will always remain miserable once she finds out that her husband prefers another woman outside than her. And especially for a woman who is faithful, it can kill. Some people will die physically out of that because they go into high blood pressure, they fall sick, they break down, and they die. Why put someone into that kind of a position? And some women, some of them will give you examples of say, my husband is this, my husband is that, that's why I am going out to meet another man. If your husband is all of this that you don't like, why don't you sit down with him and talk things out, or explain to him and tell him this is this? Or better still, you guys could go for counseling, or you meet a therapist to iron things out, or you go to your church leaders whom you can confide in to help you resolve your marital issues. Some women, their husbands are excellent men, they are wonderful, but sometimes greed, lack of content makes women to go out there. Maybe you see another man who is richer than your husband, who gives you gifts, showers you with gifts around. You prefer to be with him than to be with your own husband whom you suffered with, who is maybe loving, caring, understanding with you. And sometimes, funny enough, you find out from those people, the man and the woman that are cheating out there, these married couples that are cheating, if you go and find out those people that are cheating with may not be as nice as their own husbands and wives they've left at home. Some of them are even being maltreated outside there with all those people, but they still prefer to stay there. Why? Why hurt people? Why hurt your husbands or your wives? For those of you that are going out to sleep or have extramarital affair, please desist from it. It is not good, because at the end there are consequences, and some of these consequences are deadly. You see, some people can't bear it anymore. They go and either commit suicide, or they go and kill that wife or husband that is cheating on them. Some people can't bear the pain. And that's why you hear cases of murder, cases of suicide, husband killing wife, wife killing husband. It's situations like this that always cause this kind of a thing to happen, which is not even right at all. Committing suicide or killing your spouse as a result of cheating is not good. It's even better you walk away than killing anybody or even killing yourself. So please, to avoid all of these things happening, keep to your spouse. Call organizations that will help you put your marriage together. Go to your church elders, or you can go to a therapist, or you can both go for counseling. You both do these things together to help your marriage get back strong again. Please don't go outside. Going outside would only destroy whatever you've built with your husband or with your wife. Guys, what do you all think about this? If this is true, the allegations against Apostle Suleman is true, please, what do you all think? Whatever you feel, please put it down at the comment section. Your comments are highly important. Friends, I'm going to stop here so we can all watch the viral video and hear from Mike himself. Thank you all for coming up today. Please, for those that have not subscribed, click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Thank you once again. God bless you all.
Good day, everyone. Good afternoon to everyone around the world, wherever it is you are watching this this broadcast. My name is Mike Davids. I was a pastor with Omega Fire Ministries of Apostle Johnson Suleman, Auchi, Edo State. I was in that ministry as a pastor for 16 years because I met Apostle Johnson Suleman in 2003. I have a proof to that effect of the letter, that he sent to me July 3rd, 2003. And I left the ministry 2019, which was last year, last 2 years, March to be precise. On account of certain things, that happened, which I would want the general public to know about. But the reason why I am mainly doing this video is because my life as I speak is no longer safe. I can't sleep. Sometimes I don't even have to sleep in my house. I had to just, move away because of so many things that happening around me, threats here and there, calls from unknown numbers, threatening my life, secondly, so that the general public will be aware that should anything happen to me, Mike David, so that the general public will know who exactly to hold responsible. I know my family has nothing. I know I am a nobody to Apostle Johnson Suleman, but I want the general public to know that should anything happen to me, just in case you no longer hear about me, I want everybody around the world, from wherever you are watching this video from, to know that it was Apostle Johnson Suleman that took my life. Now, what happened was this. I got married to my wife, Pastor Faith Unose Edeko. You can check that up on Facebook and you'll see it. Pastor Faith Unose Edeko. That's the name she presently answers now. I got married to her, in 2008, December 6th to be precise. After we actually courted for, or were probably in relationship, we're in relationship for about a period of 10 years, because we knew each other in secondary school, and our friendship developed from there, until when we came out of school and all of that, we both, came into agreement to, to raise it, to start a home. But prior to this time, when I finished school, because I had met Apostle Suleman, and we started out, I was the first campus pastor of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, Edo State. And when I met Apostle Johnson Suleman, being that my wife also knew I was connected to him, so I established contact between the two of them so that he also would know her. And from that time, after meeting my wife, I noticed that, things were basically never the same. But although I didn't really put my mind to it, because as at then, he was somebody, I greatly esteemed, somebody that, I've come to love. And then, somebody I dear so much, and I saw as a spiritual father, because my father passed 3 months after my wedding. March 2009 was when my father died. And when I met Apostle Suleman, I was really not bothered, because I felt that I could have a father in him. But my wife had mentioned to me of one or two things, of his invitations of her to, to Benin, to Reliance Hotel. Those of you who know Benin, I don't know whether Reliance Hotel is still there. I think along Aduawa and all of that. Sometimes we will invite her over for, to pass the night with him and all of that. I really wasn't bothered, because my wife was a virgin. You see, because I didn't, consider it as a child of God to have anything to do with my wife for that period of, time that we courted, because of the kind of home I wanted to build. So, and that was how it continued and on until we got married. I never, as a matter of fact, because of the way I saw him, I couldn't even imagine that, because of my background from the Catholic charismatic renewal. That was where I was raised. So I couldn't imagine that, you could, if a father could have a daughter that he probably would want to, especially one that he knows that this was his son's, fiancé, that he would want to have something to do with her. So that was it. And we got married. And 2019, I was posted, 2009, I was posted to Osun State. Okay, I think 2010, I was posted to Osun State, because I started out in Asaba. You can go to Asaba and find out I started out pastoring with Asaba, Omega 5 Ministries Asaba. It was myself and Pastor Gabriel who started that branch. Then from there, I was posted to Benin, Urubi, branch 2. Everybody in Omega 5 Ministries, they know me very well all around the world. They know me, Mike David. I pastored there for a while before Pastor Azeme, when I left, Pastor Azeme Azena, that was when he took over branch 2 before he became pastor of branch 1. So I was posted to Osun State. And Osun State, Omega 5 Ministries Osun State started exactly the year that former president of Nigeria, Yaradua, passed, and that was when the ministry started in Osun State. So after then, we had our first daughter, because myself and my wife were married. We got married 2008, December 6th. We had our first daughter 2009, November 24th to be precise. That was when we had our first daughter. And between that November 24th and between that November, towards the end of 2009 into 2010, the idea for Celebration TV and Rema for Living, was being hatched and discussed, and getting it started, became the part of the plan on ground. So my wife, who happened to prior to that time, who was a staff with NTA Redman, Apostle Suleman had to reach out to her that they would need her services, and support to build Omega Celebration TV, and of course, Rema for Living and all of that. So because of that, while we're in Osun State, she will have to, shuttle between Auchi and all of that, and back and forth. She was traveling and all of that. People who attest to all of this. All of these I'm saying are not new to anybody in Omega Fire Ministry, especially those who were in Auchi and all of that. So that was it. And one of the days that my wife went to Auchi and came back, this was 6 months after we had our daughter, 6 months going to 7 months. She came back from Auchi to Osun State, and she called me privately. She called me into the room and said that 2 days after that she wanted to talk to me, and that her conscience was killing her over something, she considered too abominable to conceal. So, and I said, what was it? And she said that while in Auchi, that Apostle Johnson Suleman, lodged her in Uyi Grand Hotel. Many of you knows Auchi, know Uyi Grand Hotel, and that he came there and slept with her. And in the moment he said that, the first thing, that came to my mind was about my daughter. And immediately I said, where was Michelle? Because that was the name of my daughter. She said to me that Michelle was on the bed, pushed aside, and I asked her a question. I said, you mean you slept with a man, but my daughter on the bed? Then I had to let it go because there was nobody I could tell, and I could not fight Apostle Johnson Suleman. If I had mentioned it to my family, if I had mentioned it to her family, nobody would believe me. And if I sent her away, the question is people would want to know what happened. And for the fact that she spoke to me of her own free will, I had to let it go. I forgive her. After about two days thereabout, I told her, I've forgiven you. And that was how we kept on. And the amorous relationship between her and Suleman continued. But one thing I knew was that my wife was hypnotized. This was not the woman I got married to and I knew for over 11 years. So that was it. And eventually, the situation degenerated and all of that.